Hi, our book for this week is going to be Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. It was written and illustrated by Esphyr Slobodkina. All right, let's start our story. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Look at his caps. That's a lot. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" He's standing very straight and very still. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" But nobody wanted any caps. That morning, nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. So he's leaving town. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place to rest, he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First, he checked his own cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. He's waking up. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He's only got his cap on. I wonder what happened to them. He looked to the right, no caps. He looked to the left, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? Let's see. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, or a brown, or a blue, or a red cap. The monkeys put the caps on their heads. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." It looks like they're smiling at him too. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry, and he stomped his foot, and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." What are the monkeys doing? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." He's getting very angry now. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. What do you think happened next? He took off his cap and he threw it. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. Look at the monkeys, they're taking off their caps. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. He's sorting them out by color and putting them back together. And slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." He was very happy to get back in his business. The end.